Welcome back. Her Majesty Queen Masenate Seeiso has reiterated the importance of the African Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of African Children. Her opening remarks at the 40th Ordinary Session held in Maseru. The Queen urged all sectors to put in place protective policies against the ills perpetrated by the present-day digital environment.
It was in June 2022 when key stakeholders in the African continent gathered in Maseru to commemorate the Day of the African Child. The children designed the theme Eliminating Harmful Practices that Affect Children.
We came up with a communique to our families, government and development partners asking for protection of children in the digital environment and asked for development and enforcement of protective laws, policies and allocation of resources to reach all the children. It is happening now and we are happy because we participated in the decision-making process.
The host country, Lesotho, at an advanced stages in developing the National Child Protection Policy and urges African member states to embrace technology but with care.
I urge all the state parties to the Charter to embrace technology and make good use of all the benefits that can be derived from the digital technological environment that is pervasive in the 21st century. However, I also urge them to come up with legislations and control measures to guard against abuse of the children's rights through modern information and communications technology gadgets and systems.
And to South Africa, the children's rights is further exacerbated by the unfriendly environment in their communities.
The reality is that children and the youth continue to withstand the worst of inequalities and exploitation that continues to manifest itself across the continent through human trafficking, child labor, and children being used as combatants in wars, to mention just a few.
This week-long conference will be delving deep in discussions with experts focusing on contemporary online child rights violations in Africa and working collectively to promote and protect children's rights in the digital sphere, amongst other topics. Rapelang Khatebe, SABC News, Maseru, Lesotho.
And we're joined now on the line by Mantsenki Mphalane, Principal Secretary of the Lesotho Ministry of Social Development. A very good evening to you and thank you so much for speaking to us. Perhaps let's just first start with a bit of background on, obviously Lesotho was hosting it this time around, but on this particular cause.
Thank you so much and good evening. Can you repeat your question?
So we're asking for Lesotho's involvement, the background of Lesotho's involvement on this cause.
Lesotho in 2013 proposed to host the organ of the AU. This organ is the Committee of Experts, the Secretariat to the Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. Countries were asked to host the organ, and Lesotho submitted its proposal. We went through a process which led to Lesotho coming as the second, with the Republic of Sudan the first. However, there were some negotiations that Sudan and Lesotho engaged to let Lesotho host that, as Lesotho did not have at that time any international organization that it was holding.
All right, so let's look at...
won.
Let's look at some of the issues that perhaps are closer to not only the Queen's heart, but as a country, there are common problems on the African continent, but there are those that are probably more prevalent in other countries than others. Her Majesty mentioning, for instance, ending of child marriages, speaking about substance abuse or the abuse of children in general, and also just speaking about trafficking in persons. Just how bad are these problems in Lesotho?
Lesotho, like other countries, do have that. And this is, I think, exacerbated by the cultural or the norms of the society. That once you get pregnant as a child, you have to get married. And again, what is making this problems rise is the poverty-stricken country like Lesotho, whereby young girls would get married, maybe thinking that if I leave my home, then I go to a better place, I have to get married so that maybe I can be able to support my siblings. Trafficking and abuse seems to be rife now, and I think just because children are left alone while their parents go to seek for greener pastures, or even go to seek work so that they can feed their children. So children are left by themselves, no adult caregiver, and perpetrators take advantage of that. Yes, abuse also is also caused by poverty, like I mentioned, that you'll have to do things that are not right as a child just because you want money. And this we have realized and have engaged with stakeholders to do the campaigns, the sensitization on the behavioral change, on how to parent children. We have even developed a booklet on the appropriate ways of good parenting. Her Majesty is the national champion for vulnerable children. Vulnerable children include all those children that are being abused, neglected, those who get married at a tender age. Heading is also one of the problems that is facing Lesotho, whereby young boys are seen not to be going to school and are being seen to head cattle in the cattle poles, whether it's winter, and some of them even go to the initiation schools at a tender age, and those issues are the ones that we call child abuse, all of those.